Bitcoin, after rejecting from the key level, the short setup that we gave in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, started to form this symmetrical triangle pattern and is currently breaking down. And we're coming to a very, very important area, make it or break it for Bitcoin. So we're going to be diving into the charts. I'm going to be talking about my targets and my next trading ideas. So make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for notifications, because we are bringing you the juiciest and the most up-to-date Bitcoin updates here on YouTube. We are about to see a really big move. This is one of those make it or break it zones for Bitcoin. And as we zoom out here, we can see that we have been forming now bearish market structure on a higher term time frame since Friday. After the high up here, the short setup we gave in the Casper Crew, take that swing trade, which I'm currently still in, you can see that we put in a low, a lower high, a lower low on Friday. And then what happened on Monday was actually very important. We had this key level of $27,500, which was the first level that we needed to reclaim to show a sign of strength after bouncing from this very significant 200-week moving average right down here. This is why we were taking a short in the Casper Crew from that exact level. And what's happening right now, I think, is very important, because although we did get a bounce from the 200-week moving average, we tried to come back into the range here, and we're currently losing this value area low. And so I'm keeping my eyes right now on this very important area of support. We have this golden pocket at $26,500 down to the 786 at $26,200. And so if this is going to be a legitimate bounce from that major 200-week moving average, this box is the area that we need to keep our eyes on. Now, not only is this box the Fibonacci golden pocket and the Fibonacci 786 level, but we also have something very, very interesting here as well, which is on Friday, the futures market closed, giving us a CME gap right in this exact area, right? We could see that we have a CME gap that will be filled literally right on this golden pocket. So if we do not get a bounce at this green box right here between the prices of 26.2 and 26.5, then we need to be looking at some lower targets, because when we zoom out, when we go to the daily time frame, we can see something very, very significant, which is the fact that if the Bitcoin price is going to continue making lower lows here, we are going to be coming back down inside of this massive, massive range that we basically traded from June 2022 all the way to our present day. And what's so significant about this is, if we start to lose this key support resistance flip at $25,300, that can open the door for much more downside. And the reason for that is because the market is always trying to establish a fair value for the price of any asset. And it does this by looking at where were people most willing to buy and sell an asset. And that's what we call volume, right? So this volume profile right here is showing us that from June 2022, basically till May 2023, most people considered the fair price of Bitcoin between $18,000 and $25,000. What that means is, if we lose our green box and we come down to our next major zone of support, if we don't get our bounce at that $25,000 level and we actually lose it, then we could enter into free fall mode and come down much, much lower. So these are the major zones that we need to be looking at if we are going to lose the green box at $26,200. First of all, very important zone of support at the $25.3 to $24.7 area. This is actually the area where I'm looking for my next major swing long position, because it's such a massive support resistance flip. But if we lose that, then we have to be open for much more downside. And so some major targets that I would have if we pull some Fibonacci is going to be, number one, coming down to this $21,000 level. Very, very key Fibonacci golden pocket on a high term time frame. But number two, we have to be ready and willing to accept the fact that if we are now trading back inside of this old volume profile, it becomes more probable than not that we make our way back down to the low of the volume profile, giving us a very, very important level of support resistance flip right down here around 18,000 to 18.4. Both of these areas, although they may seem very, very scary right now, especially if you've been buying Bitcoin at higher prices on spot, These, in my opinion, are offering us amazing opportunities to potentially get into Bitcoin at some very cheap prices. And the reason why I'm looking at this as such a optimistic bullish scenario is because I believe that the bottom is in, just based on the historical data here. When the Bitcoin price comes down to the 786, 886 fib level for the past 3 market cycles, we have done this. We have also done this with the bottom on market Cipher B for the past 3 cycles. This is showing us that the bottom of the bear market is in, and now we have an opportunity for the next year before the halving to accumulate Bitcoin to ride that next bull market. So when we take a look at the halving and the previous halvings, we usually come down to that fib level about 1 year before the halving. So these green dotted lines right here, this is 1 year before the halving. The white line is the halving. We can see when we come down to this area about a year before the halving, we have about a year to accumulate Bitcoin before the massive bull run. Same thing happened in 2015. Same thing happened in 2019. The same thing is currently happening right now, which means any dip we get right here, I am looking at as an opportunity to accumulate Bitcoin on spot before the next major move to the upside. So on the higher term timeframes, things are looking very, very bullish. However, on those medium term, small term timeframes, we have to be aware that yes, we are coming up to resistance with some, bearish divergences on the daily, top signals on the weekly, looking like we could get a move down. And so these are the targets that we really do need to be aware of. By the way, if you want to take advantage of this volatility, trading these markets, check out MEXC, my new favorite exchange. You will not find a better deal on fees. 0% limit order fees, 33% off. Market order fees up to a $9,000 deposit bonus. Link in the description and pinned comment if you are interested. Also, if you want to join the Casper Crew VIP Discord, where we gave the short setup from the high and the local short setup this week on Monday, you can go to jasoncaspertrading.com. Go ahead, click the link to join the Discord. Also, if you want to learn how to trade this way, guys, check out the courses. We have a 25% discount on both courses. So much information for such a great value. jasoncaspertrading.com. Guys, I'm a huge proponent of being as self-sufficient as possible. That's why I'm into cryptocurrency. That's why I'm into trading. Here's something that I am doing to become more and more self-sufficient. All right, y'all, I am out here on the homestead today, and one of my favorite things to grow is squash. Why squash? Well, it's very, very nutritious if you're eating the flesh of the squash. It tastes great, it's so easy to grow, and it produces a lot of food. In addition, the seeds, you can eat them. They're very high in protein, and they're very easy to propagate from year to year. That's why I focus on the 4 major things, which is basically potatoes, squash, beans, and then vegetables such as, your greens and stuff, and beets, because it can give you all 3 macronutrients as well as many micronutrients. Most climates right now, this is the time to be planting your winter squash. So right here I've got me some butternut squash seeds, and I'm going to be planting about 70 butternut squash plants. And each one of those plants, this squash is so prolific, it could give me honestly anywhere from 10 to even 20 squashes per plant. So you can imagine the amount of squash that we will have just of this butternut squash. I'm going to be planting a lot of other different kinds, but it's also stores very well over the winter, guys. So I still have squash right now that I planted and harvested last year. So my family is still eating the food that we grew last year. These are the seeds from the plants that we grew last year, and now we're just propagating it again for the next year. Definitely squash if you're looking for the most bang for your buck when it comes to growing your own food. That's it for today's video, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, click the bell, and I do pray everybody watching and listening is very blessed in the name of Yeshua, Jesus the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, I still pray that you and your family are super blessed, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Peace!